Hey, this is Maya Acting 2, Pantomime Acting and Silhouetted Poses. Pantomime acting is the art of using movement and facial expressions rather than the spoken word to communicate. We won't get into the history in detail, but pantomime acting began in the 18th, 19th, and 20th century Greek, Italy, and England as a form of comedic and dramatic stage acting. It often involved music and dancing and audience participation. We can see it being used in modern mimes and clowns, and there is still some modern pantomime stage acting performances being done today as an art form to its own. In animation, even when characters are speaking, we will exaggerate poses and timing. We have to project our acting onto the character being shown on the screen. So in today's class, we'll practice some pantomime acting, focusing on using silhouetted poses to clearly convey to the viewer what is happening without any spoken dialogue. You have a couple of choices, or you can just do something on your own, but let us know what the character is supposed to be doing. You can do things like a character struggling to open a jar or struggling to open a locked door, or you can do something else, just as long as you let us know what's supposed to be happening when you submit your play blast. We're going to talk a lot about acting choices in your posing, so the poses you choose are your acting choices. Okay, so this is what we're going to go for today. I won't even tell you what I did here, I'll just play it and you can try and guess what the character is doing. Did you guess it? Okay, well this is an exercise that one of my animation teachers gave us when I was in school for animation. And it's a character hailing a cab, but we had to do this exercise in hand-drawn classical animation. So we're going to do this in 3D. So just breaking it down, we have our initial neutral pose, where it's just standing relaxed. And then we have an anticipation pose, and then it goes out into trying to call the cab. And then it passes by. This would be the next pose. Bit of a moving hold, and then an anticipation pose, and hailing a little further this time, reaching out into the street. Little wave, and then next pose, a little bit angry, so you can see the tenseness in his arms. And then I'll turn around to look, a little bit of an ease on it, and then a big anticipation, and then we have the jumping cycle. I added a cycle in there. So you guys can do something like that. If you want to go ahead and do a character hailing a cab, that's fine, you can do that, or any of the other examples I suggested. So in doing this, you're going to be planning out your poses. I strongly suggest you plan your poses out with whatever idea you have. Keep your idea simple. You should be able to describe it in one sentence. So it should be a very simple idea, very simple action. You don't want to be animating 600 frames for this exercise. It's just not necessary. So keep it short, keep it simple. Let us know in one sentence what the character is supposed to be doing. A good thing to do is start storyboarding. Now that we're into acting, I recommend you start storyboarding some of your actions. Just a way of planning out what's about to happen with your character, what your character is supposed to be doing. So you can go to the website and download the storyboard. It looks something like this. You can open it in Paint, or you can open it in Photoshop and create a new layer for your drawings in Photoshop. It's probably a little bit better. I'm just going to demonstrate this in Paint. And sorry, I'm drawing on a tablet right now, so my drawing's not going to be the best. But in the storyboard, you have these panels. There's an area where you can put the title, the page number, which panel it is. You can number them, panel 1, 2, 3. This is where you do your drawings in this area. And then you have your action, which is basically a description of what's occurring in this part of the scene. And then dialogue, which obviously you would just type in what's being said. So because in this performance there's no dialogue at all, we're just going to draw in our main actions. So you can draw in every pose that you want to set, and then you don't have to decide on the fly while you're animating or while you're blocking in your animation which pose you're going to set next. So say for example, I suggest you always draw in your line of action first. So just doing a rough line of action. Draw the head and the torso. You don't need a lot. You don't need it to be really detailed drawings. It just needs to be enough where you know the general pose that the character is going to be standing in. So say for example, waiting for a cab. And then say for example you want to have them anticipate. So again, you would draw your line of action. And then just rough in your pose. And then again, line of action. Again, there'd be a line of action through the arms as well, so you want to keep that into account. Sorry, these drawings are awful. So you might say something like, you might just say antic, gesture for cab. Something like that, right? And you can even indicate with arrows which way the character's parts are moving. So it's just a breakdown of the action and the acting and what's going to happen next. So I strongly recommend you use that. Use the storyboards to plan out your animation. You can also print these out and just draw right on them if you don't have a tablet, or if you're as unskilled on a tablet as I am. I also have my monitors extended to 2 screens, which makes it more difficult to draw on the tablet. And as usual, follow the workflow that we've been using throughout the program so far regarding blocking in your posing and your timing first, and then taking a look at your play blast. Adjust your timing by sliding your poses closer together or farther apart on the timeline. Spline all your curves, and then refine in the graph editor. Send us your QuickTime movie, and we'll send you the feedback as soon as we can.